This is our second rig, but we've been full-time RVing since 2019.
It's either gonna make you or break you, and I would say, thank God it actually made us.
Boom.
Let's go.
When we moved into this RV, it was very gray and I don't know.
It's like a bachelor pad's apartment.
I am the oldest, so I get a little bit of VIP. So while everybody is sleeping here, I get the loft up top. It takes a pretty good size or a pretty good portion of the toy hauler, and it's really nice up there.
I love this kitchen because of the layout. And you would think because it's tiny that it would be harder to cook in, but I actually find it easier.
People always ask us, what are the two things or a couple things that you miss from living in a house? It's two things. One,
I'm Lorna, and this is Nick, and we travel around with our 4 kids in this RV together. This is our second rig, but we've been full-time RVing since 2019. In shopping for the rig, it's, important to find the layout because you can fix everything else, but you can't really change the layout. And that's what I feel like we did here, because when we moved into this RV, it was very gray and how would you do, just very modern? I don't know.
It's like a bachelor pad's apartment.
All right, this is the before, and this is the after. I really wanted like a cottagey vibe in here. I wanted it to feel magical when you walked in and peaceful. So I wanted it to surprise you.
I take zero credit. She is that meme when she's like, hey, can you hang this up? And I turn around and she's got the ladder and the drill in her hand. Anyway, she's just gone.
I would say the amount of time that it took to do the rig was, I'm gonna say, 6 months?
I'd say we're right around $5 to $7 grand on the full renovation of the RV. And you did outstanding. All right, welcome to the Travel Vibe Chasers Home on Wheels. This is actually our dream rig. We were very, very excited to get this rig. This is a Cyclone 4006. It is like the model that we've been looking at for so long. It is exactly 45.5 feet long. I believe the weight on it is about 16,000 pounds dry weight. We are pulling this thing with a Ford F350 Super Duty diesel. It's not for the faint of heart, especially if you've never drove like a really big trailer or a big rig. We are riding 3 axles on this thing. It's a very large ride. There's a lot of communication going on when we are parking this thing. Luckily, I got a 16-year-old now, so my son generally goes behind there. Kind of saves our marriage a little bit when we're trying to, back up. It's usually a nice show for the RV park if I'm having a rough time getting this thing in a parking spot. So on this bad boy, if you take a look at the roof up here, we got 3 ACs. I mean, if you get into areas like Moab or you're in Arizona and you make the vital mistake of going there in August, you're gonna need those 3 ACs. Let me just promise you that. So this is our deck on our toy hauler. So generally they use this as a ramp so you could get that ramp going to get whatever toys you want to haul inside of the rig. And then after that's taken care of, you can now set it up as a deck. So it's the spot in the morning. So we like to get out there in the morning, have a cup of coffee, jump by the fire pit, hang out. You get some great views off the back of this deck. I mean, we've had this thing overlooking lakes, oceans, and mountains. It's been phenomenal. Let's take a look at some of the storage and some of the stuff that people are really scared of. It's the poop tank and water. Stuff like that, which is, it's not the funnest to deal with, but we deal with it, Come on over. We're not big boondockers, so we do not have the entire solar setup. But the cool thing is this does come with a full gas tank, so you can fill your gas tank up, you can fill your generator up, you can fill your car. Even if you had a car, this thing has a full gas tank hose in here, and I can plug that bad boy into a car to fill it up with gas. So it is pretty awesome that we have that feature on this rig. So, as you can see, you have a poop hose. Now, pro tip, don't ask your wife to do this. Common question that we get is, does it smell? Yes, it smells. It smells like freedom, okay? It smells like I can travel anywhere I want in the world. It smells like my backyard is paradise. That's what it smells like. All jokes aside, you can generally put some stuff inside of your tank that will make the smell kind of disappear and go away. We've been on the road now for 6 years, and we have made Road family. If you know about Road family, there's a huge community in this space, full-time RVing. So generally, like right now, we're traveling with some of our friends of ours for almost the last 3 months. We're gonna do one more month and then we're going separate ways. Generally, when you're in an area and you are with friends and family, man, you gotta have the fire pit sessions, right? Fire pit sessions are mandatory. Everybody sits down, we tell a story, talk about where we're going, talk about where we've been, and you know, build lasting memories by the fire pit. And the kids love making s'mores. Who doesn't love making s'mores? So a lot of the times people will cruise by and they see this chimney coming out of this tent. And the big question that they ask us is, what is that thing? It's a sauna. So people always ask us, what are the 2 things or a couple things that you miss from living in a house? It's 2 things. 1, a jiu-jitsu gym. And then number 2, a steady gym, because I'm a sauna junkie. So we figured out a way to kind of bring some luxury on the road with us. And this is a wood burning stove sauna that I could get in and every morning jump in my sauna and start the day living lavish. Enough of the boring stuff. Let's get to the pro, the hostess with the mostest, my wife, Lorna. Let's roll.
Welcome to our tiny home on wheels. I'm so excited to share with you guys everything. And I want to say the main objective when you guys enter my home is to have good vibes, good energies, and I really wanted to have a cottage feel. I wanted this to feel lived in, cozy, comfy, like we can just grab a cup of coffee or tea and sit on the couch. And I really feel like we captured that. And we did that by thrifting and finding things all over the country. We have different items that we've collected, and it's been so much fun to find treasures all over the place. I love this kitchen because of the layout, and you would think because it's tiny that it would be harder to cook in, but I actually find it easier because when I stand here, I can like reach in here, go to the oven, everything is just right here and accessible. The only thing I have to do is grab a step stool to get up top, but I'm actually really grateful that I even have cabinets that go all the way to the ceilings. I have all these fun things, little stations. We got like the coffee station. 2 things we're actually going to be replacing is the refrigerator. Ours is kind of narrow, so we are definitely going to be replacing that. And then the oven. The oven is also another thing. We're big air fryer people. We can still bake and not have to use propane. And it doesn't take as much energy as an electric oven. So I think that's a good idea. So you just kind of have to pick and choose how you use your kitchen, but I think that's going to work out really good for us. Another thing that I want to show you guys is you have to be very creative about organization. That's one of the things that I do on my channel is to find organization, use the vertical space, all the space that you have. And down here, I have a rolling shelf. It's really nice that it slides out and I can get to things in the back. So when you have an RV, they kind of have these really big, deep cabinets and you have to figure out what to do with them. And that was a really cool feature we added. All right, let's head into the living room. This is our living room, and as you can see, it is very spacious. We have a super large slide on the side here, which makes for a really big living room. You don't see this in a lot of RVs, and this is what really attracted us. And as you can see, there are 6 seats, 1 for each of us. So we are huge movie people. Anytime a new movie comes out, we're cuddling up on the couch, watching movies. That's one thing we didn't want to have missing when we moved into an RV. Sometimes we'll even take a giant air mattress and we'll just make a huge nest and everybody will hang out here. We also have like a huge TV and the kids can play the Wii and play games, and it's just a really great family space. And I'm super excited to show you guys my couch. So we were kind of trying to decide, because Nick really loved the original couches. They were black, your feet went up, but they were leather. They were not matching the cottage vibe. So we were thrifting and we're like, God, I hope we can find one. And we look over and there was this piece, okay? And she's stunning. And we were like, oh my gosh, I wonder how much it is. So we looked at her, she was 70% off and we paid $10. So this is the kind of fun thing when you're on the road, you find all these treasures and different things. And now this is my story. Just like those leather couches, the feet go up and you can like tilt her back and she lays all the way down, and they don't make them like this anymore. I have another project I've been working on that I really want to show you. Let's go. Now we're going to transition into the bathroom. Now this is probably the area that needs the most work, and it is the smallest of the house. Like I said, you have to give and take in an RV. So you have to pick what's most important for you. We spend the least amount of time in the bathroom, so we decided that this is where we can flex a little bit so we can have a larger living room. The main thing that I did was add this little shelf here, and it has all of my hair accessories. I have my facial stuff, and it all fits here perfectly. I even have my hair tools down here. This side is a work in progress. I'm gonna be switching out the mirror, maybe the whole vanity, but this is pretty much where I keep everything. I actually really enjoy our shower size. I feel like it's a great size. I feel like one of the things you really need to think about is what type of like hot water tank you're gonna have, whether it's gonna be a continuous hot water tank or if you're gonna have one that heats up by propane. They're all different, so you have to really, you know, make that a priority. The toilet is a push toilet, like a regular one with water. I mean, it's an RV tank, so you have to be careful how you flush it. You have to, you know, make sure that you're taking really good care of the tank, which that is not my department, that's Nick's department, but we all try to do our best. When we first started RVing, we actually had a whole hairbrush that went down there and it got clogged, so don't do that. Next up, we're headed to the bedroom. Welcome to the bedroom. This place I wanted to have a little bit of a different vibe. I wanted it to feel magical in a different way, kind of like a cozy cottage, but with a garden feel. And I really feel like we captured that with the wallpaper. In an RV, it's always talked about like painting it and doing all these things. And I really wanted to add some excitement with it through wallpaper. Everything is peel and stick. I did it all myself. It did take a very long time, but I feel like it's so worth it. And if anything ever happens to it, you can take the piece off and slap another piece on. The bed goes up. During the day, my husband actually works in here. He pops up a desk. This is a king size bed. Our last one was a queen, and the king's growing on me, not gonna lie. So we have a toy hauler in the back. It's a 13-foot toy hauler. It houses all of our children, not the toys. We ended up putting a triple bunk.
Welcome to the treehouse, guys. This is where we converted our old toy hauler to this dreamlike magical utopia. And it may seem small at some times, but for me, it's not really about having a big giant room with a walk-in closet and all these things. For me, it's the experiences that I get to have and seeing all these amazing, beautiful sights. My backyard is always beautiful. Like right now, my backyard is a freaking water park, and it is the coolest thing of all time. I am the oldest, so I get a little bit of VIP. So while everybody is sleeping here, I get the loft up top. It takes a pretty good size or a pretty good portion of the toy hauler, and it's really nice up there.
This is my bunk right here. I share it with all of my siblings, which probably seems a bit chaotic. We make it work, and it's really nice having them around. We're always together. My space, what makes my space special is probably my stuffed animals, my trinkets that I collect throughout the country, which is really nice. One of my favorite things about traveling on the road is probably seeing all the amazing new places and hanging out with my friends. Right now, my best friend is actually my neighbor. She's right next door and we hang out every day. We've been traveling together for the past 6 months.
I love hanging out with my brothers and sisters. Like I can literally just come down and say hello.
Yeah. I love playing games with my brother too.
Mine's the top.
Mine's the bottom. We have our own space, our own curtains, but we still get to be our family.
And that's like my favorite part.
I love how I can just hang out in my bed and play with Legos.
We thought we were at like the top of our success. It was like the American dream, everything that we thought we wanted when we were kids growing up. And I still felt empty inside. One day I started watching a show and these people were full-time RVing and I couldn't believe my eyes. It just lit something inside of me and I just knew that I was called to do this. Nick came home from work and I was like, I'm gonna show you something. And he looked at me and he laughed.
I laughed.
He laughed in my face. And I was like, no, I'm serious. He's like, okay, seriously, you're gonna give up your shoes and your bags and all the designer stuff? And I'm like, yes, I am. I said, I wanna do this. I feel this is gonna be the best experience for our kids. I said, I can feel it in my spirit.
I mean, she was dragging me, kicking and screaming. And if there was one thing I could tell any of you guys to go back, if your spouse is pushing for this adventure, do it easier. You know, if I could go back and tell myself something, gets me a little emotional. I wish I could have gone back and just said, hey man, you're about to go on the adventure of a lifetime. It's either gonna make you or break you. And I would say, thank God it actually made us.
Boom.
Let's go.
So I feel like living in an RV in a tiny space has just really changed our lives for the best. Even my children, they have all become adventurous. They're willing to try new things and they're asking to go different places. You have the opportunity to like raise your kids a certain way and then you get to see them fly the coop and be free. And being in a small space, I've got to spend every second an opportunity to be with my children. This changed my life, gave me the opportunity to just be with my family, be present, and just exist in who I was called to be. And I'm just so grateful for it.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.